So
Hello, everyone. I'm still in utter shock with it. This meeting is being recorded. I'm just, and welcome to the, I'm sorry, Jade, go
The
ahead.
women's cave. I mean, I was trying to pretend like we had just a little bit of decorum, and those are straight lies, y'all.
But like Alex has been back twice.
Yeah, so I think he
already
knows.
I'm sorry, his name is Alexander.
I know. Oh, we're just gonna call him random. I
I'm
can't
just
do
gonna
it
be
today.
like, no, we know him so well. We call him Alex.
I can't.
Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about our books because we do write things at some point.
We write literary life guides with pop poetry, and I thought the
Yeah, I just popped off and walked off. Go ahead.
She just left. Like, that was crazy. And I thought the voice was bad, but other life lessons. And I thought being grown up was easy. And I thought David Jones. Okay, so y'all, there's like a bunch of books, right? And some of them are on like Audible, so you should check them out. And you can find out everything you ladies are doing. Oh yeah, I'm Jade.
And this is Winona. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah. We forgot to.
Yeah, so yeah, you can check out everything you ladies are doing on www.andithoughtLadies.com. But y'all on here to hear about us.
You're here to hear from our wonderful guests. Wonderful guests.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
hello, I am. My writery name is Alexander C. Kane, but nobody in the world calls me Alexander, so it's weird for me to be like, I'm Alexander C. Kane. Very formal. My name is Alex Kane. I am the author of the Andrea Vernon series of novels, as well as the Orlando People series. The newest of the Andrea Vernon series just came out on July 15th, so 4 days ago. Andrea Vernon and the Big Axe Acquisition. I said it perfectly, which I didn't know if that was going to work or not. Every time I say the title of my own book. Do I need more things? Should I keep going?
Oh, no,
you're good.
Whenever you stop is when we start.
Yeah, so that's great. So let's talk about these series and how like the idea to do them. I love Orlando People. That's kind of funny, and especially then Andrea Vernon.
Actually, those are like two different books. But like, okay, I'm sorry. The show was about you, not about us and our opinion.
I'm here. I'm listening.
No,
I'm learning.
So how did you get the ideas for each individual series?
Andrea Vernon. I'll give just the short version that I work a day job and I like my company, but I always look at all, wherever I work, I always think like, we take this very seriously. And I'm a chill person and I won't, I believe in working hard, but I also sometimes I just look at the way people talk about things and I just go, it's not like we're saving the world. Like, everybody just calm down. Like, it's a good thing. These are good things we're doing, but it's not like we're saving the world. I'm like, but like, what if we were? So, I had this idea, and, that's like a very basic premise. That's, the character is always what fills in. And so I had this idea for a long time until I, came, I kind of envisioned Andrea as this character who's this very, very intelligent person who's kind of at a crossroads and looking for what to do with her life, and, finds herself very good in an office job, which was not what she ever intended to do, but an office job where she is literally saving the world. And so that's where that came from. Orlando People. I am from Orlando, Florida, born and raised. And I wanted to write a book about Orlando for a while, but I didn't really have this idea until I went to, I don't know if I've told you this story before. I went to a minor league baseball game. It was the Brooklyn Cyclones hosting the Staten Island Yankees. And the Brooklyn Cyclones do this thing where they make one of the players on the other team the pancake batter. And so if the pancake batter strikes out 3 times, everybody gets free pancakes at IHOP. I don't know if you've ever been to a minor league baseball game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very chill experience. Like, no one's overly concerned with who's going to win. Everybody's hanging out, getting pretzels and beer and just talking to each other. The score doesn't really matter. Pancake batter strikes out his first at bat, strikes out his second at bat, pops out his third at bat. So he comes up top of the 9th. This is going to be his last at bat. If he strikes out, everybody gets free pancakes. So everyone's on their feet. It was not serious before, but there is so much tension. Like, I've been to game 7 of basketball series and it's never been the tension that it was for the pancake batter. And so he's up there and he goes and he's got 2 strikes on him and he swings and he misses at the throw and the place erupts. Like they've just won the World Series. This huge explosion. I know this is a really roundabout way of explaining about why I wrote something about telekinetic kids in Orlando, Florida, but I'm getting there, I promise. And so I was looking at that, and this guy who struck out, who he must have been the best high school player he knew. You were one of them. To get to AA baseball, I think it is. He must have been great, like just great all his life. And now he's great only to a point where it's a joke. Like everybody's like celebrating at his failure. This very talented person, but not talented enough where he's in the major league. So I had this idea, for this group of people who are telekinetic and someone who's telekinetic, but in an utterly useless way. And that's Gretch, who is the main character of Orlando People, who like other people can pick up cars and, throw people around, and Gretch can lift a small object from her hand 3 feet up, but only while she's sitting down. And that's it. And so that's where that idea came from. That was a really long answer to your question.
No, it's the best. I love hearing
when Orlando People came out, you gave that answer. And then when you started
I couldn't remember if I did or not.
The second when you get, I was like, I like this better the second time for some reason. And now I want pancakes.
I know. And now as you were talking about pancakes, I was like,
I'm like, Instacart order. I'm gonna need pancakes.
Someone posted once that they're like, that writers write about the same theme over and over again throughout their careers, and I'm like, I think my theme is really about like situational greatness, about how like, we judge people by like how they're doing somewhere, and so some people are just in the wrong situation, and when they find the right people, like Andrea at Cup, like Gretch, and she meets Prater in Orlando People, that find the people that support them and give them an opportunity to do great things, that you find, you get different results. And that's something that I think about a lot, about the situation we get in, and not just the luck we find ourselves in of where we end up sometimes. Being in a position to do great things.
Yeah, the third book. Actually,
without giving out too much.
Yeah, it's all
spoilers.
3 books. Miss O says some of the most amazing things. And the last time that you came here, you were like, you have to make sure you don't repeat anything Miss O says, and you have to come up with new
It is literally the hardest part of writing those books. Of writing anything I write, that is the hardest part.
Because Miss O says,
and I was like,
hilarious
this time I paid special attention to Miss O. Now she said some very interesting things. I was like, they got a little technical, but I love them. How do you make it feel like someone will like just say that out? Like it's just the saying. Like
so I do, that's like the part that I go over, and sometimes I write something, I'm like, it's not there. I'll come back to it, because I'm not going to sit there and stare at it, because I'm a believer in like just plow through and get it written and make it, get that first draft done, make it better. You'll think, and then sometimes you wrote a chapter and you go back, oh, I know how to make that chapter better, and you go back to it. But with Ms. O, there's a lot of rules to it in my head, of like, it can't be something that's cliche, obviously, because it has to be something that you haven't heard before. It has to make sense. It can't just be like, I'm drunker than a doodle bird and a huckleberry or whatever. You just can't. So it's got to make sense. It's got to be true to her character, and it can't be something that Jack McBrayer said on 30 Rock, like just like a weird thing that the page said on 30 Rock. So I try to like make it like something that makes sense for her and connects to where she's from and who she is. And it also has to be funny. So that's like the struggle every time to like get that in there. And so every time, because it was one of the things I found when I was first writing it, like on the first page, like I think the very first one is like, the government couldn't sell a candy bar in Hungry Town or something like that. And I just wanted a way of getting something out there. And then I looked at it, I'm like, this is a fun thing to play with.
Yeah, I'm like, at some point, if it had been this hard, when I was listening to him, like he must have spent some real time on them, because first of all, they sound amazing and they're hilarious. And I was like, I'd be like, Miss O went and got a Harvard education and now she speaks fine. Now she just came back from Harvard over the summer. She's fine.
Linguistics class. So you're talking about plowing through. So yes, let's get right a technical, right?
Right.
But when you plow,
something we do.
Yeah, we're not gonna really be right.
Yeah.
When I said that, our audience was like, yeah, they ain't about to really say nothing. You're talking about like plowing through. So are you one of those people that like write the page and then be like, oh, I misspelled that word, let's go back? Or you just keep on going?
So my process, I I try to like, I don't go over a page to see if there's anything misspelled, because I will go over a draft 50 times and I will miss misspellings and typos, and like that's the editing process. Misspelled words, I'm not really worried about it. For an up and coming writer, you don't obviously want to have misspelled words, and you want to, if you're looking to get published and you're looking to query an agent, you've got to get it in the best shape possible. But if your book is out, that's something for when you're going to edit, where you're going to go over it, or you have people you trust to go over it. Sitting there while you're trying to be in the flow of writing and being like, where did I get something wrong? Did I put 2 periods next to each other? Like, it's just not. That's not. I mean, that's not my process. I try not to like lecture on process, but it won't work for me.
Love that you like I don't lecture.
So how close to this draft the final draft, were you with your first draft? Was it pretty much
pretty
similar?
close? It's pretty close. Always, there's a lot to do with the Andrea Vernon books, because there's so many characters and there's so much like development and so many things that have to pay off. So, and obviously like book 2 ended with a cliffhanger, and so you've got to pay that off. So there's a lot of things going on there. The pieces are all there. So there's, individual parts that need to get fixed up. And that, I tell people editing is great because it's like time travel. Like you come to a point, you're like, oh, this doesn't work because I did this earlier. You're like, I never did that earlier. It never happened. And you just change it. It never happened. Never happened. It's like, if you could go back to middle school, you're like, I never said that weird thing and everybody laughed at me. It's like that, except you can't do that, but you can do it with writing, where you're like, this didn't make sense now, and now I'm going to fix it. And there are sometimes I'm like, oh, if only I just kept this idea. If I only done this in book 2, and just got to let that kind of thing go. But, that's the way it works for me.
I like it because I'm a narcissist. I'm picking this back to me.
I
just got the second book in my series as an audiobook, and then as I was listening to it, I went, dang it, I should have changed that in book 1. Shoot, I should do this in book 3. And book 3 is already written, so I'm not changing anything. But how do you let it go? Oh my, because it's been haunting me for 2 days now.
I had a reader on my Facebook page who asked me a question about, oh, why did you do this? And I was like, I didn't do that. Did I do that? And I had to go back to book 1, and I had to search for what she was saying, going, I did do that. And now that doesn't quite make sense in book 3, but I'm just going to step back for a minute and accept that's there. Like, what can you do?
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so gotta hear about the lucky part. Oh yeah, and then we do your last question?
Yeah, because
okay. Sorry. Your writing career has been astounding, like how it worked. Can you tell us a bit about how you found and where
I think I've told this story to you before, so I'll tell the quick version of it.
Yes, absolutely.
Of that. Yeah, I have an agent now, but I got a book published without an agent, which is some kind of weird alchemy. I just want to say, before I say this for anyone listening, that like every story, when you're looking for an agent and you try and find stories of how agented writers got their agents, every story is obnoxious, because they're all like, I was either in this like great MFA program and or I queried a bunch of agents, never found one, and then one turned out to be my long lost twin brother, or it turned out, we had grown up together, or, it's all these things. It's challenging. And then, you need a little bit of luck. So what I always say is, you need a little bit of luck, but you have to put yourself in position to get that luck. So what I had done, I queried over and over again over a period of like a year and a half, trying to find an agent. And I did not find one. So, I got a lot of rejections. I had some people ask for samples. And after a series period, and I'd been waiting on people I'd sent samples to for a really, really, really long time. And I finally said, I think I finally got a rejection from someone that I was like, I had given a partial or a full to. And I was like, I'm not going to wait on this book anymore. I think it's really good. I believe in myself, and I'm going to self-publish it. I will roll the dice and just see what happens. And so part of that, I took on an independent editor, Betsy Mitchell. Betsy read it. She loved it. She, I hired her to edit for me. And when she was done, she said, I think I actually know someone who'd really like it. I think Audible would really like it, actually. So she's like, I know Steve Feldberg at Audible there, and she sent it to Steve, and Steve reached out, and he really liked it, and we ended up doing a deal together. And that is how I sold my first book. And then later, I ended up taking on an agent who has been representing on my subsequent books. And I will say, if you can get an agent, because it makes it a lot easier, especially for me, who does not like to talk about money.
Oh,
Yeah, I can understand that. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Like, we really appreciate it. Where can people find out more about you and your books? Where can they definitely buy?
If you go, my newest book, all my books that are currently out are available at audible.com. So Andrea Vernon and the Corporation for Ultra-Human Protection. I just mumbled that one, even though that was the easy one to say. Andrea Vernon and the Corporation for Ultra-Human Protection. Kind of messed it up again, but I'm moving on. No editing. Andrea Vernon and the Superhero Industrial Complex, and Andrea Vernon and the Big Axe Acquisition, as well as Orlando People, are all available at audible.com. The first two Andrea Vernon books are also available on Amazon in print and ebook form.
Fabulous. Do you have a website or people buy your
I have a Twitter feed.
Yeah.
I have a Facebook page. You can find me on Twitter at Alexander C. Kane. You can find me on Facebook. My author page is probably Alexander C. Kane, but if you do a search for Alexander C. Kane, you'll find me. I don't have a blue check anywhere because I don't have that.
I love it so much. I love it so much. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. We really appreciate it. I guess I'll go ahead and wrap us up. You can find out everything your ladies are doing on www.andithoughtladies.com. Did I put too many W's in there? I think I might have put 3. It's only 2. I think I put 4. There's only 3. Y'all. So
I'm sure everyone knows how that works.
I don't know. I don't know. I thought maybe I should say it. All right. So anyway, go down to the bottom of the page and to see the champions of the power support. Maybe support them. Also, we thank you in advance for that. And just remember, y'all wisdom is all around you if
you're open to finding it and accepting it. And love you guys from Will. No.
And Jade. Bye. Oh yeah. Thanks for listening.